The music is about to stop. XRP is the solution to this whole problem. The Japanese yen carry trade unwinding, guys. That's what we're going to be investigating in today's video. But silver doesn't want to stop one bit. What is happening to the precious metals? Breaking, silver surges to a record $64 per ounce, now up a lot just in this 1 year. Gold futures are officially back above 4,300 as well, as rate cuts into stagflation resumes, guys. Look at this. This is silver for you, right? I told you. What did we mention for silver, guys? When it breaks out of the consolidation, right? It went. Look at this. Okay, so let me go zoom back a little bit. The last time we were really looking at silver, guys, was like during that resistance, right? It was like right here. It was breaking out, about to break out, okay? And it did break out. What did it do? It consolidated and went up again. You guys see? It pulled up, it pulled back a little bit, and it pumped up again. And then, what is it doing right now? It's holding support above its previous resistance. Again, you guys see this? That's exactly what gold did. Okay? So until the trend is broken, you just follow it. It's probably going to keep going higher, right? In just a single year, by the way, this is just crazy. You could have literally, if you would have sold your XRP early this year and just all in on the silver, guys, you would have been up insanely a lot. In early 2025, this year, okay, early this year, silver was literally at $28. It has gone up 123% thus far. Imagine that trade, selling extra or selling anything, right, and going all in on silver, and now going back into XRP, guys, right? But again, you can't really tell the future. Now you could, because it has truly broken out, right? There's a difference, meaning it's probably going to keep going higher, guys. Momentum is strong as well with the RSI, right? Extremely strong. Let's go into weekly and see how deep is the RSI. Look at that. It's overbought, right? It doesn't mean that's going to cool off. No. Last time with gold, what happened with gold here, right? You guys see this? The trend upwards, guys. Each time it hit overbought levels here, it just kept pushing higher and higher and higher, right, on the weekly chart. So silver is on a moon mission, folks. And probably that's a bad thing. Remember, this comes back to the Japanese situation coming here in just a second. First, I want to set the stage on why this is extremely urgent. From Fluent in Finance. When the price of silver doubles quickly, it's rarely a good sign. It almost always means people have lost faith in their money and their leaders. So nobody is trusting the governments anymore, or the economy, or anything, right? Everything is about to get flipped on its head. If I remember correctly, let's look at gold. You know what's so weird? This is how I know a black swan is coming up, and people think I'm just going crazy. Gold, before 2025 hit, right? 2025 was right here. Gold kept on going higher, right? You guys see this? The tariff situation hit right there, right? So insiders front ran everything, by the way. What is silver smelling? Silver is obviously smelling something, because it's literally going parabolic. I'm about to cry, because this is not supposed to be happening. This is basically before the collapse occurs. The music is officially about to stop, folks. Remember, XRP is the solution to everything. Okay, just remember. Give me a minute before we head to XRP, and why it will come into play at the end of it all. We saw this happen right before the fall of Rome. We saw it during the French Revolution. We saw it when the Spanish Empire collapsed. It doesn't just predict the chaos, it often causes it. It triggers a massive transfer of wealth. The poor gets left behind with worthless paper money, while the rich elites protect themselves with gold and silver, and the news is barely covering it. You guys are you guys hearing anything about silver? Ask anybody in the streets. They probably don't even know what this is. Well, they definitely do, but I mean, like, they definitely don't see it moving higher, guys, right? Silver is on the same path on what gold did when it hit like crazy triple digits, guys. Okay, so it's coming soon, extremely soon. Which is technically no matter if it's directly or indirectly, it's all good for XRP. Why? So let us transition into why silver probably is skyrocketing. It smells that something is about to break. And what could that be? Well, from bar chart, Japan's 2-year bond yield jumps to the highest level since the great run up to the global financial crisis. Japanese bonds are about to, I don't know, it seems like they're smelling something as well, guys. Whenever these yields moon, something bad is about to happen. So, if the Bank of Japan raises rates next week, you'll see the Japanese carry trade collapse and, as a result, the biggest liquidity crisis in history. The dominoes are starting to fall, which XRP, by the way, targets what? Liquidity. Literally, one of Ripple's employee, this was like a decade ago or a long time ago, literally on an interview stated, yes, XRP is basically the liquidity provider. When there's a run on liquidity, XRP will be there to save the day. Right? So let's go to when will they raise rates, or what's going to be happening with the rate cut situation, the rate decision. So Bank of Japan rate decision right here, previous was 0.5. They've been holding it steady. Why? Because they can't cut it, nor can they raise rates. Okay? On each direction, something will break. Now they're forced to raise rates. The forecast here is 0.75%. Previously, it was all 0.5, as you guys can see right here. As soon as they raise rates, the markets are going to collapse. Why? Because the carry trade will unwind. You guys already know what this is, right? Where everyone goes to Japan to borrow, right, yen, cheap yen, and invest that into different assets. But if they if they hike rates, they have to sell all those assets and pay back the loans, right? Because it's going to get unaffordable. And that's how everything will have a sell-off moment. Everything's propped up by the loans, guys. Okay, from the Japanese yen, right? So this is gonna happen so December. Remember, it's December 19th, a week from now. But last time this happened, by the way, insiders front ran the event a week before, a few weeks before, even a few months. That's why Bitcoin has been selling off. That's probably going to get worse. Why? Japan's prime minister is now panicking. Prime Minister of Japan refuses to give a statement on currency levels, right? And they're monitoring it. Yeah. So here's the game plan. Last time this happened, it happened once before in August of 2024, guys, and I remember this date clearly. Right, there was a bullish divergence formed there as well, if I'm not mistaken. The Fed cut rates here, check mark. Bank of Japan raised rates as well, check mark. Present moments, present situation. The Federal Reserve cut rates, check mark. The missing piece is only this. You guys see this? Bank of Japan. That's the missing piece to the damn thing imploding, and it's about to happen, right? You guys see how Bitcoin was dumping, and then the flash crash happened when Japan raised rates. Bitcoin has been dumping. Is a flash crash going to happen when Japan officially raises rates in the coming week? Or any minute, any moment now it's going to happen. From lead lag reports, this is where XRP may come into play. This person has been screaming about this whole Japanese yen carry trade unwinding situation. And he just turned ultra bullish on XRP, by the way. At last, here it is. Here it is, Army. Why Japan's banks could become the first major test case for scaled XRP adoption. Let's read on. This is crazy, guys. This is truly making me excited. Okay, that's a really cool picture. Very cute. Coming down here. Japan rarely dominates crypto headlines, yet the country may soon become one of the most important providing grounds for Ripple and its XRP token. Not to mention, they stated that XRP will be integrated into the Japanese banks by 2025. Maybe something needs to break, and this could be the trigger. The reason is not speculative excitement. It comes from structural features of Japan's financial system that naturally align with the type of infrastructure Ripple has built. Three forces in particular are converging. The first is Japan's role in as one of Asia's deepest remittance hubs. Millions of transfers flow each year from Japanese households and businesses to destinations across Southeast Asia, especially the Philippines, Vietnam, and Indonesia. These corridors are large, stable, and highly sensitive to frictions in legacy systems. The second is Japan's long-standing carry trade environment. Decades of near-zero interest rate encourage banks and global investors to borrow yen cheaply and deploy capital abroad, creating persistent liquidity challenges and large offshore currency balances. This is where XRP comes into play. These conditions have begun to shift as the Bank of Japan slowly normalizes monetary policy, but the structural incentives around foreign currency management remains. Okay, now the third is Japan's unusually proactive regulatory approach to blockchain technologies. They actually, oh, by the way, I forgot to mention Japan. You know this whole situation that's happening with Japan? Japan loves XRP. If you guys have not realized, right? They're ultra bullish on XRP. Maybe the people who love XRP and are full maxis of XRP is because they see their own economy. It's like a ticking time bomb, right? And they know that XRP will come in as a savior. They love XRP. I don't know about other cryptos. Policymakers have spent years building legal frameworks for digital assets, stablecoins, and tokenized payments. Institutions such as SBI have used this clarity to push ahead with blockchain-based transfer systems, including RippleNet-supported applications and stablecoin distribution partnerships. Beautiful, wonderful. Together, these three forces set the stage for a potential large-scale test of XRP in real financial infrastructure. This is not a prediction. It is an observation that Japan's economic structure, regulatory environment, and institutional players create conditions that rarely exist simultaneously in other markets. So, where does XRP come into play in all of this? Well, we go to Japan's deep remittance corridors provide natural volume. Yes, Japan's remittance landscape is large and persistent. Many foreign workers live in Japan temporarily, supporting families abroad. Right? Now, these flows remain heavily reliant on traditional rails such as SWIFT to moving money around, messaging, bilateral banking relationships, and foreign nostril accounts that must be funded in advance. Now, maintaining everything is inefficient. It is precisely the kind of problem Ripple's system seeks to solve. This is why SBI Remit became one of the first major institutions worldwide to route remittances through XRP. In 2021, the firm launched a transfer service that used XRP as a bridge asset for Japan-Philippines transactions. Right? 2 years later, SBI expanded the model further. Its new service called enabled XRP-based payouts directly into bank accounts in the Philippines and other parts, 3 of Japan's most important remittance destinations. These efforts matter because they show that the technology is not hypothetical. Banks can use XRP to reduce pre-funding costs and accelerate settlement. Exactly. By the way, regulations and clarity has been met. Right? It's like the last stage before they truly flip the switch. Okay? And even when XRP is not used for settlement, the exposure to Ripple's payments lowers the barrier for cross-border applications later on. Okay, so it's the ideal sandbox, especially with the carry trade about to implode, right? And this is where XRP could come in, guys. So there it is, guys. I'll prepare. Things are getting hectic, aren't they? A week from now, maybe everything changes. We'll see. This is a financial advice. I'll prepare, most definitely. But it's SFA's business. See ya.